So my dad got diagnosed with esophagus cancer.
Yes.
Esophagus cancer, and kind of, like going back to our, like the childhood and stuff that I had, like we were all so healthy. None of us ever got sick, especially Dad. He never,
I'd have to take, a couple times she had a broken wrist.
I broke my leg, and my mom was like, "You're fine." I had to walk on it. You like made me walk on my broken leg for like a week, and then you finally were like, "Okay, I guess we should go to the doctor because your leg's
Sometimes her
probably
memory
broken."
is lagging.
No,
that is not true.
No, I remember that. You're like, "Oh, you're fine. You just walk it off."
You know what? It was your wrist.
Yeah, when I was
you
wrestling
guys were
with Dad.
wrestling with your brother and your dad, and you just said, "Oh, it's okay." And then a couple days later, and I'm like, "We better go get that checked." The leg, you got kicked by a horse.
Yeah.
That was immediate. We went and got you looked at. And they happened kind of really close together. And I remember thinking, because of the same doctor, he's going to report me for child abuse because this is happening, too frequently. She's having broken bones.
Yeah. Well, thank goodness that's been it. I haven't had any crazy injuries like since then.
You got it all out of the way.
And then so Dad got sick. He got diagnosed with cancer. That would have been the summertime. We were a really healthy family growing up. And that was like, when was that? June? I feel like he was diagnosed.
Yes.
It was around June that he was diagnosed.
And he kind of put off going to have treatment for a particular reason.
And I remember being home though, and he would be eating and he would start having the hiccups, and we would all just kind of laugh at him.
We'd go out to eat and he couldn't even finish his meal because he was hiccuping so much. And we're like, "Hun, you need to get that checked."
Yeah.
And then that's when he was diagnosed with that. And
I was away at the time.
Yeah,
going
you
to
were
school.
away, but you came back.
I came back.
Maybe it was like Christmas break or something.
Yeah.
And you were a big support, and your brother was there. It was harder on him.
Yeah, it was hard on him.
You were by my side, the whole way.
And Dad started chemotherapy right away. And he had, how many surgeries did Dad have to undergo?
He had one major surgery where they reattached his esophagus up here. So he had to be careful about how he ate and how he slept. But, it was a fine adjustment. We could deal with it. But he just had more cancer going on than they really realized.
And there was a time he came home for Christmas. He was home for Christmas.
Well, they
thought that they had gotten all the cancer.
Right. They had told us that they had gotten it. And that was in September or October. And then around Christmas time, in December,
he started
having problems again.
So I was home during this time. I had came home, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I remember, we were kind of celebrating because Dad was cancer free.
Right.
It was a miracle from God because
right.
we didn't think that he was going to be able to make it. And I remember him starting to say or express, and when guys get sick, they're so all of a sudden, "Oh, I'm sick."
Yes.
Oh. But I remember he started not feeling well again. And I have this memory of he was sitting in his chair in the living room.
Yes.
And he started not feeling good. And I don't know where I was. I was either in the kitchen or maybe I was in there sitting. And he was like, "Oh, I don't feel good again." Or "I can't get up. I need help. I need to go to the doctor." And I remember you coming in and and I've never heard you raise your voice to Dad. And this is an emotional part for me because I remember you telling him get up. Everything is fine. Get up. You're not sick. You don't, you're not hurting again. We're not doing this again. Get up. And you're yelling at him to basically man up. And unfortunately it was, we did take him back to the doctors. And
yeah, we went back. It was right at Christmas time. He didn't really want to go because anyway, and we thought it was his gallbladder. And we were like, "Okay, we can deal with this. Take that thing out. We'll be fine." Well, and then he never got it back out of the hospital because that's when we found out the cancer was, more widespread because he wasn't healing up. So, yeah. So, and he passed away on his birthday.
Yeah,
which was
February 10th.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
But we were together. We were with him when he took his last breath. We were reading some Bible scripture, which was so appropriate at the time. Anyway, it was all good.
Yeah. It's funny because like, I remember you yelling at Dad.
I don't really
To get better.
remember yelling at him, but
You were. I think you were, it was like that fight that you have in you that you've always had in you, Mom, and that you were yelling at him to get up. You were yelling at him to get up, to fight, to basically run towards the fight, that you're not sick. Because I think a part of you, like, you didn't want to believe that he could possibly be sick.
Oh, I know.
You had
Yeah,
already
it
been
wasn't
through
supposed
so
to-
much
Oh,
because it
yeah.
happened so fast.
yeah, it was quick.
It happened so fast. And I remember we were sitting there with Dad. He was home with hospice. And we knew that he didn't have very much longer to live. And, we have like all these machines set up and it's loud. And it got to the point where like he couldn't even really communicate with us anymore. And he would it got to the point where he was just kind of squeezing our fingers. Yeah. And then it got like, further on. And this was all within like probably a 72-hour period.
It was
shorter, maybe?
No.
Longer?
It was a little longer. Yeah.
But I remember you were reading this passage through the Bible. I remember just watching his neck and watching his pulse just stop.
It did. And it did. And yeah, that was an incredible moment because we were reading a passage that just basically said, you just believe in me and I will be there for you. I will give you strength and let your worries go away. And then he did. He took his last breath, and we were just sitting there holding his hand. Mm-hmm. It was really sad, but it was a relief. It was really awesome. I mean, it was really.
Oh, I remember it because I slept with you that night, and your bedroom. Where you and my dad slept, it was actually right next to the kitchen where my dad
had him set up in his bed.
Laid. And after I remember like the hospice came and like they took Dad. I don't really remember that part. I know it was like a long night. They had to come get Dad or whatever. Right. But I don't know if I've ever shared this with you, but I remember I slept with you that night, and it was quiet in the house.
Yeah.
And a huge part of me almost felt relieved. Because of 2 reasons. I didn't have to see my dad suffer anymore.
Right.
And I didn't have to see you hurt anymore because you were just trying so hard. It was a fight bigger than what you could take on.
Yeah.